Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so the image frame, I just make a circle, and if you hold shift on any Adobe program, it'll like keep the shape uniform. And then if you let go, it'll like go to oval or like freeform it, and then if you hit shift again, it'll just go right back to the perfect proportions, which is really helpful. So I'm just gonna try and line up my circle as I like want it, because the only part of the picture that's gonna be in here is whatever's inside the circle. It'll cut out everything else. And if you want to adjust it like really specifically, you can use the arrow keys to punch it down or up or to the side, wherever, like more specifically.
Just so I can catch up for a second, how do you place the photo? Where is that?
It's okay, so go to file, and it should be place, yeah. And then you just put whatever images you have. You can also like copy and paste it from like wherever if you want. But I think like placing it just makes it more secure in the document. But yeah, and then I'll right click on my picture once I have it aligned the way that I want. Oh, it still has the thing selected. Why is it selecting both? Don't do it to me. Okay, so I'm going to copy the image, and then I'm going to click on my circle, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go paste into. If you hit paste, it'll just paste the picture again. If you hit paste in place, it'll put it like perfectly in the spot. But paste into cuts the edges out of the shape that I'm putting it into. So I'll do that, and then if I get rid of this, it's perfectly in the circle. And then yeah, it's like really helpful. And then this little gray circle helps you adjust it.
Oh, so see, you can still adjust the photo behind.
Yeah, so if it's not aligned the way you want it, you can adjust it. Like see how when it put in, it had like this white space. You can just like nudge it over, and then you can still resize it a little bit. It kind of like it resizes the circle, and then you have to like change the image again to fit. But yeah. And then I'll just move that up here so I can keep using my space. And then you can do it with an outline. So I'll place my image again just to show that real quick. And then for this one, you'll just, oh, it did the thing. You go to the pen tool and make sure it's on no fill and just the stroke, so it only does one line. Because if you start like moving it around with a fill, it does this like funky, like filling the whole thing in. But I only want the lines. And then if I wanted my picture to be like an outline of my face, I would just click, and if you click and drag, like you can do these little lines, and then if you hit Alt, you can change like the curve of everything. And then I'm just gonna not do a perfect one just because I'm doing an example and it'll take forever.
Wait, what tool is this called?
The pen tool.
The pen tool.
Yeah, and then you do the exact same thing where you right click your image and copy it, and then you click the outline of your shape and you right click it and then you paste into, and then now it's like cut off whatever, so you can then customize any shape you want into it.
Can you do round edges?
Yeah. For this, like you would, if you want to edit the lines, you can just go here, and if you click on any like corner with the direct selection tool, this little white circle pops up. I'm not sure if it works here. Yeah, it doesn't work once I've done that, but when like before you place the image, you can click on these edges and then a little circle pulls up and you can pull it and that rounds off the corners. So you can do it with any shape. I'm just gonna move that out of the way. Oop, okay. And then next up, we can do the shapes. So you can do this with any shape, but I did the rectangle just because it's really easy to see. I want a full thing. And then I use the direct selection tool to kind of like move the corners a little bit. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now I have a kind of a regular shape. The first thing you're going to do is copy it, because once there's text in it, it goes directly to the line, but that's kind of hard to read as a shape, so you want to have like a little bit of a border around it. So if I put type in this one, all I have to do is right click
So you
and
don't
go to
put type in
content.
the original, you put type in the second one?
Or whichever works.
Okay.
You just have to make sure at the end that your type is on top. So if you like I forget like when you copy it if it goes above or below, but you go to the layers and just make sure that your type is on top. But I can show you that in a second. But yeah, so you'll right click and go to content and then text, and now it's like eligible to put text into, and then I can right click with the text tool. And I could just start typing, but I'm also going to show a big thing in InDesign is like most designers will design the layout first and then put in their necessary information and then adjust it accordingly. So in order to do that, you need like placeholder text to see like what shapes you need, how big things will be. So you right click with the text tool and you go to with fill placeholder text here. And then it'll fill it with everything,
That's so cool.
right?
You don't have to,
Yeah, you don't have to key smash or anything. It'll just go right there. And then if I like typed way too much, it would, and then I go back to the box. There's this little red square here that's telling me that my type is going over the edge. So normally I would just expand this, and now it's here, but that also messes up my shape. So for this purpose, I would just like try to make sure my stuff fits.
Could you expand this, like size the shape up all of it?
Yeah, you can do, yeah, like shift and,
Okay. Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
And then another thing, if you see like when it gets cut off here, it's hyphenating. Most of the time, in my personal opinion, I don't like the hyphens. So I would do Control A to select all of it after double clicking and like activating the type tool. And then you can go to this little paragraph panel right here. And if you don't see that, go to window. Anytime you don't see like layers, properties, or like any kind of window you need, go to window and then just like open it from there. And then this panel has like all your alignment and stuff like that. And then it also has hyphenate. So I just uncheck that because usually automatically it has hyphenate, but I don't like the way it looks. So I always have to go in and fix it. But yeah, and then if I want this on my shape, I just put it right here. And then I'll go to my other shape. I'm pretty sure it's this one. And then I will just like size it up a little and then align it the way that I want it to be aligned. So it has a little bit of a border around the type so it's easier to read. And that's how I did all of these. And you can see I got lazy over here and just left it without the border. But if I was going to submit this somewhere, I would fix it. But yeah, and then, oh, I forgot the border on the image frame. This is something you can do with anything, but if I go to properties, you can mess with the stroke. Are either of you familiar with like what stroke and fill are?
Not. I've seen the words, but not enough.
Yeah. So it's just like fill is the main color of a shape. Like imagine a filled in circle. The fill is like the main color in the whole thing, and the stroke is just another word for outline. And then with stroke settings, I like to, if you see any words like underlined like this, it means like they have more options to them. So I click on it, and you can make it thicker. So I'll probably put it on like 9, just so you can see like how that thickens the line on the edge. And then you can also do, you can do these are quick ones as well. You can go here and do like the wave is how I got that wave on the other one, right? I love how excited you're getting.
Like Figma.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
at the same time, it seems like there's less. It's more convenient, like that feature that. Like,
Yeah, they have a lot of like very intuitive placements.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but yeah, they have a lot of different options. Like you can do a dashed line, you can do dotted, you can do like diamonds, you can do thicker dots.
Could you like create your own one?
Good question. I think if you were to do that, you would do brushes, but I think that's an Illustrator or a Photoshop thing. I think in here, I'm sure there's a way. I personally just use these ones because I'm in love with the wave. I just always use the wave. I can probably look that up later and find out though. But yeah, and then the way I did the double line, like there's a pink and a yellow, I just made a circle and then did the wave stroke and then just like aligned it on top. And then next step is the paragraph styles. So we'll go to this page, and these are all like examples of my paragraph styles, and they also have headers and stuff as well. So this P with the little boxes behind it is the paragraph styles, and there's also character styles, but I usually just go for the paragraph ones. So what these do is there's like title, body, headers, and then the other headers. So this like saves the typeface, the size, the color, the alignment, everything. And then when I want to go and put the same, like if I have like multiple headers and I want them all to be uniform, I can just click on them and hit the header button, and then like they'll all be the same. So this one is my title, but if I decided I wanted it to be a header, I would just hit header, and then it changes
So you
to the
can
other
make
one.
your own, right? So if you go here
Yeah.
and then you like, you're making one and you can title it. Can you just talk about that like a little more basically?
Yeah. So that's the title, and then so if I wanted to make a new one, I would do a box here. Let me just fill it and make it visible. Okay. So if this was my body text and I wanted it to be like Control A. I want it to be different. Thrasher font. I forgot that was on my computer. And I want it to be bigger. I don't know, just as an example. That's huge. But yeah, any kind of like type like this, and then you highlight a section of it. It doesn't have to be all of it, just needs to be a little bit of it. And then you go hit this little button right here in the paragraph styles menu that says create new style, and that makes your new style. And then if you left click on it, double click, you can rename it. So this would be like Bonko Blue, and that would be my style. And then if I wanted to, if I decided I didn't like it, I could change it back, or I can change it here.
So how do you edit and set all the details of that style? You do that over here, like I set all the details of a style, and then I can write and apply it.
Yeah, the same way you would set any like paragraph style. So the first time you do it, you would do the same, like choose your font, choose your colors, like sizing, alignment, all of that stuff. And yeah, that would be in the properties menu. Like the colors are here. There's a stroke if you want to put stroke on letters, font size, leading, kerning, all of that stuff, and then like paragraph alignments and everything. So you would just pick everything that you want and then create the style. And if you decide like, oh, I actually want this one to be like center aligned, you can just change it to center aligned, and then you'll see like because I made a change, it says my title of the paragraph style plus, which means that I changed an element. And then if you decide that you like that better, you can right click on the name and hit redefine style, and that will change everything.
How did you get to the plus?
So go to your like make a yeah, so you, is this your type box? Yeah, just type in right click and highlight it. And then oh, do you have your paragraph styles open?
I have it.
Okay. Oh wait, turn this angle. Okay. Yeah, okay, so let's go to window up here, and then go to styles, and then open paragraph styles. Yeah, okay. So if you hit this little square right here with the plus sign in it, that'll create your new style. So go ahead and create a new style. And then go back here and change something about your font, like make it bigger, change the color, something like that.
Color, okay.
Okay, and then that'll give you the plus sign there. And then if you right click on it, you can do the redesign. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Body header making new. Okay, that was all of the basic stuff I had, but do you have any questions?
What's your like process? So like if you were
How do we start to
how do you,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
So it's like
what comes
like
down first?
I saw those headers, right? Like you put, and that's like a basic thing I feel like a lot of graphic design students would do. But it's just like, how would you go about that? Is that the first thing you do? Do you like what's the
Are you talking about like choosing the style of like the word?
More just like, I just want to know like how your process works. Like,
Okay.
Do you do content first? Do you then build? Like, what is the whole?
I do inspiration, looking at examples, then I'm a paper person, so I'll write down like kind of like layout examples of like kind of different options of what I do. And I have one professor who says like do 50 sketches of everything, like tiny little thumbnail, really basic sketches. That's more like graphic design thing.
Yeah.
You don't need to do all that here. But it does really help if you're doing creative stuff. This like you don't need to do all that, but like maybe 3 or 4 like different layouts just to see. I also have in my resume file, you will see that like if you go to pages, I have like 17 different options. Like I've redesigned this layout like 12 times and done a bunch of different stuff.
Okay, so if I was to be building like like not but just like I have never used this before.
Right.
Where would I start? Do you put in your headers first, your text boxes, your like just I know you're
Super
thinking of it in
basic.
this way
Yeah.
because that's but for me who's not that way, how I would love if there's any way to like basic it down a bit and like where would I start?
I would say I'm a
Is that what you're trying
top-down.
to get at?
Yeah, okay.
Because it's so awesome seeing your process
Uh-huh.
and like hearing thumbnails and such, and like that's not what I'm going
Right.
to be doing. I want to make it like stand out, and I want to design my own, but I also like am not. This is not the design.
Right, yeah.
I'm not. So yeah. So I'm curious a little bit on how to like what inspiration you or like advice you have for that kind of approach.
I would still say look up examples.
Okay.
Like look up resume templates, look up things like that. You could go like Pinterest boardy. I have a lot of professors that are like make a Pinterest board to get your vibe down. That does really help if you're looking for even simple things like colors, like see what colors go with it. You can use Adobe Color, which is like a website. You don't have to like download anything. You go to Adobe Color and it will, I can actually show you. You could put together color palettes that are cohesive, because I think that's a really hard thing when you're first getting into designing stuff.
And then how do you like how would I bring that color palette into a like InDesign?
Yeah.
You
Can you, or do you just have to look them up by code?
Yeah, you can, but you can like copy the codes. That's usually what I do. I'm gonna do color dot.
You can add it to your library.
How?
In Creative Cloud.
What is a library in Creative Cloud?
They
Like,
have-
no, I've seen
Yeah.
the word, but how does one use it? Where do I access it in my
Sarah, are
different
you
accounts?
logged in?
I can't see because of the recording thing, but I think so.
Oh, okay.
I should be.
Yeah, so go into one of the themes up top. Where it says create, you can create your own theme right there, but if you go explore, go to explore.
Okay.
Now say like one of these, say you like one of, scroll down a little bit, and you like one of these, just pick one. And what you can do is all the hexadecimal colors are there, you can copy that palette, you can bring it in. I'm lazy and I do screenshots.
True.
And then I bring it in and using the color picker,
That's so smart.
it just goes right in.
Yeah.
But what I like, because I do a lot of web stuff, and the hex codes are right there, and then you can actually copy the CSS code for each right there too.
Oh,
But
that's smart.
see the top button right there to the right, says
Add to library.
That now syncs to your Creative Cloud. Let's say you're logged in,
Oh.
and then all of your apps, and on your phone even, you save that to your library, and now it's available on your desktop to use.
So cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you can collect that, and now it's synced.
So it's now your save stock number. Because that's the same thing, right? Like, how do you? We're getting really basic, which is what I need. How do I bring in other fonts? How do I access the font library? And like,
I can show you that.
I can save fonts to my library as well.
Yes, you can. You can download them from any font website, but I'm going to show you Adobe Font just because that one is super easy and what I go to, just because I don't have to download more stuff. And my computer's getting full.
Adobe
So,
font.
yeah.
I'd love to stay within the same family.
Yeah. So Adobe has really organized fonts. Making me log into everything. Okay, that's what I thought.
And then the mobile, and then the
Okay, so my favorite thing is font packs. So you go to Adobe Font, and they have these packs of like similar fonts. So if you need like a bold one for your headers, and then like a similar but different, like thinner one for your body copy.
So you
like there's a lot in here.
How many fonts do you usually use per document?
The less the better.
Okay.
I would, you don't want to have like a different typeface for every block. It'll get like way too messy.
But like 2 is good to have.
I would say 2 or 3. I think my favorite thing is get one font family that you like, and then use the bold for your headers, use the regular for your like body. Or I use a thin. A good rule of thumb is to skip a space. So there's like a lot of different types of like boldness and thinness. So there's usually black, which is the super big one. Bold is like your normal bold. Sometimes there's a semi-bold, there's a regular, there's a thin, there's a semi-thin.
You want to get at least more than one.
Yeah, just for contrast and like visible, like accessibility with vision. Like it's good to have like, if there's bold, regular, and thin, you skip one and do bold and thin.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. This is
Yeah.
very helpful.
Thank you.
So font family. Okay.
And then we can just look at a font pack and just see like these are like curated by Adobe to say like these are fonts that look good together. Like these two, you could use this for your headers and this for your body, and these would like have a good contrast. If you want a more fun one, you have like the thin ones, and like they have like tons like this. Yeah, this is really helpful for like any kind of project.
I need a color like I heard of Color IO. It's like
Right, yeah, it's similar. I think Adobe bought that, and that's what
really?
Adobe Color is. I'm like
Okay.
50-50, I'm pretty
And
sure.
then I feel like I've used more frequently. So like I've never touched Adobe because it sounds so intimidating.
Yeah, it's
I've
like,
always like avoided.
yeah, it's definitely
trying
like,
to use Adobe.
it looks scary on the surface because there's so many different tools and everything, but you really only use like a handful of them, and once you like get the basics of like the tools that you're actually going to use, it's really easy to use.
Do you use Adobe Portfolio?
Yes. That's what I have for now. I want to code my own one day, but I don't have the time for that. So
If we have extra time, would you be willing to show me just
Yeah,
like what
sure.
yours looks like? Because if there's time. If
yeah,
not, it's okay.
we have like plenty of time. We can do whatever. I just want to show you real quick
Yeah, please.
how to download these. So these are like previews, so the download button isn't here. But if I go to like this font family, it has like this button here is to activate all of them at once. And then these are how I would activate an individual one. You just click that button and then it activates it. And then if I go into InDesign, what was that called? Embry. So if I go in here and I go here, and I type in the font that I just downloaded. Oh, it needs to like, yeah, it needs to set for a second.
But understood.
Yeah. But yeah, it takes a little bit to like download, but then once it's in here, like you just put it back, you just like throw it right there.
So, is there anything else in kind of line with Adobe Font and Adobe Color that you would recommend as like things that you bring in? Or are those like the two kind of like where you get your color and your text?
Yeah, that's usually where I get most of my stuff. It's up to personal taste, like what you want to bring in, but it is a good like guide to get like inspiration and stuff.
Yeah. But is there any other like basic things like that that are like outside of that I should know about?
There is Adobe Stock if you want imagery. I don't know if you would need it for like resume portfolio per se, but if you want like texture, that's a big thing. I don't use
Adobe Stock.
Yeah, Adobe Stock has a lot of good stuff, and then I can show you textures, but that's from I get mine from True Grit because they have like I think every month they give out like different free textures.
True Grit.
Yeah.
What are textures?
It's like it adds a little bit more depth to a page. I can actually show
Do
you.
you overlay it or how do you insert it?
Yes, you overlay it. I can show you in I don't remember where I saved it. I'm pretty sure I did this project in Illustrator, but I did it in my imagination class over the summer.
What a cool title for a class.
I know. Yeah, if you've ever seen the advertising stuff, like the classes are like curiousness, story, style, imagination, invention, like really fun stuff.
It's actually funny because I think advertising student in my intern team, she influenced me to add a mass media studies minor.
Nice.
And I was like, I'm taking like the first basic class, and I'm like,
is it?
Why didn't I just become a mass comm
right?
major?
Was it Mask 101 or was it?
It was just 101.
Okay.
Story
Who do you have? Who are you gonna have for story?
I'm actually trying to figure out what teacher.
Take Marcel. He is so cute. I love him. He is so fun. Like, I'm a Marcel stan. Like, I worship the ground he walks on.
But I had Robert Milazzo.
Oh, I don't think I had him. I had Scott Sherman, who's like a big department head or something. Where's my imagination folder?
Huh. I should probably.
Yeah, it's this one.
I was also gonna ask, a lot of people, and I'm not a graphic design teacher, a lot of art students or just people that I've met for advertising, like everyone has a mouse when they're using these things.
Yeah,
and
this cramps your fingers. Like you will get carpal tunnel if you don't.
Because I've used Figma a lot, but like it was very annoying with like not having a mouse. Is that like something you think is a good thing to have?
It's definitely a worthy investment. This my boyfriend gave me because he had an extra, but I was like cramping my fingers, and I had a drawing tablet because I do a lot of like actual illustrative stuff. If you don't illustrate, I would not recommend it because they're really expensive, but it is really, really helpful. I also think it's funny to like play video games with it. I think it's fun, but Yeah, let me see if I have my texture layer. This was just a class project for a local convention.
That's very cool. That looks
Thank
like,
you.
was that like from scratch?
Yeah.
Lord.
Do you see how many layers?
I
this
know,
she
there's
has?
like-
Yeah, I don't even
So
know if
many.
this is the right one. Where's
If you can't
my
find the texture, it's totally
texture? Okay, I just wanted to show you like the before and after. Maybe I have one on a different version because I have a few. Oh yeah, you see this like gritty texture on this
Yeah,
circle and how
that-
it's not on this one? That's what a texture is. So it adds a little bit more depth. There's also like, my favorite one is to get like, you can just get a picture of like an old piece of paper. You know how like they look kind of yellowy, they're kind of torn at the edges, like darker on the edges, and then turn the opacity down, put it on top of your stuff, and it looks really good and clean, and it just gives it more depth, and it makes it look more like paper and more real, because then a lot of digital design comes out really flat because everything is just straight like regular rectangles and stuff. So it just like helps, like it's easier on the eyes, it makes it look more real, like it's a really like pro gamer tip. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
What was this called first?
True Grit.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you had a second just to show me your portfolio, I'd be
Yeah, we
so
can do that.
curious. Oh, sorry, back to the basics. So you're
Mhm.
putting in your paragraph, like, I think we got distracted because there's so much that
There's
we're
a
curious
lot
about.
of stuff.
But if we were starting a resume, you would suggest putting in like text headers, like
Mhm.
it's like prep work would be get to figure out the fonts you
Right.
want and the colors you
Yeah.
want. So
A
that'd be
good
prep.
helpful thing too is get just like a regular notebook, piece of paper, and a pencil, and like make rectangles of like where you want things to be. Like I can show you.
So like
Um,
a wireframe?
Yeah, like a
Oh,
wireframe.
okay.
It's just a good way to like visualize things without all the type and stuff, because it like making it simple in the beginning helps so much.
So would you say after your inspiration phase, it would be like, next phase would be like sketching and sort of just.
Yeah, I would say looking up like Pinteresty things or other examples anywhere. Then I kind of go into colors because I'm a big color person. I like pick out the color palette, things like that. Then I'll look at my fonts. But usually colors and fonts will change as you're designing, just because like once you see it laid out, like your opinions might change. But yeah, so I would say your first like idea, like this is a good way to get like snippets of it. I'm gonna pull up this just to see.
Like how you did, yeah.
Yeah. So like if I was planning this and this was like in my head and I didn't like have all the words and stuff yet, I would say like just really basic, like this is where I want my logo. I want an image here. I want like title, body, like super basic,
Yeah.
like absolute shapes, and then like maybe like contact down here. Like things like that, just to like really bring it like
Okay,
all the way
that's
down.
helpful,
Like this
yeah.
will help you like build up to where you want to be.
Where do I start? I guess you just find examples, like looking at, like for me. So like I would be looking at like people who are like people that are like I would look at their websites and look at their CVs and their kind of cover
Yeah,
letters.
absolutely.
And then because like me looking at what like people in marketing's like cover letters look like might not be as helpful. Like it's just it's a totally different game, right?
Yeah,
Like,
so you'll want to look at people in your field first, but you can also look at like any creative career will have good stuff. Anyone who has a
I think
portfolio
that
pretty
it would
much
be
would have
amazing.
it.
I think I would just feel really intimidated and like
Yeah,
I feel
for
like I
sure.
have to do way more than like
Yeah.
I
That is
need
totally
to
how I
even
feel,
to
yeah.
stand out within like the sculpture.
Right.
Okay, cool.
It's good to take inspiration just in general from a million different spheres, just because like people who think differently than you have different design ideas and different color schemes and different things like that, and it's really good to like get that perspective from everywhere.
Is there like any place that's like a compilation of a lot?
For advertising, I know you can go to the Brand Center website and look at portfolios there.
Oh wait, I need that.
Yeah.
On my like,
What is it?
Girl, the Brand Center portfolios are so good, and I'm just
they're
like,
insane.
What is
Well,
this?
it's like a grad school portfolio
Brand?
building
Brand
place.
Center.
Brand.
So I can
Yeah.
even.
It's like the advertising master's program basically.
I actually look at the UI UX design.
Oh
portfolios 'cause
really?
that's what I
Yeah,
wanna go
for
into,
sure.
But,
Yeah, no, their art direction stuff is so good.
I also just look at I literally just search up portfolios.
Yeah,
And
you
then
can
you'll
just Google
get
it.
so many, like,
Mhm. I'm in the advertising club too, and their president sent out a bunch of like example resumes from Brand Center and other places. There's also the Denver Ad School if you want more like advertising portfolios like that. I don't know where to get sculpture stuff, unfortunately, but yeah,
Okay.
just looking around anywhere.
Yeah, just having somewhere to even
Mhm.
begin to like.
Oh. Whoa.
What did you open?
Oh my.
Is it the fish one? Oh,
Oh.
that's fine.
This one's really cool.
Okay.
Why is this wall targeting me? It says Sarah, stay on track, and it's about ADHD.
Oh.
Who did this?
No.
You're like.
Actually.
Wait a minute.
We did like
Oh.
a exercise yesterday, and it was just problem statements.
But why
And
did he
so-
pick me?
Oh, that was just the lady in the problem statement. Okay.
They put me in.
But
That's-
honestly,
Why is that all me?
wait, is it actually all you?
A little bit.
Oh, that's a little awkward.
That's so scary. Okay, anyway.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Who is watching
This
me?
is so.
That's so funny. Anyway,
Portfolio.
portfolio. They're
Because that's what I'm doing right
watching
now,
you.
and I can't come to the one on Friday. I know there's a portfolio one,
Oh yeah, I saw
and
that.
I won't be able to go.
That would be really helpful. I can also I do YouTube tutorials.
Really?
Just
Stop.
yeah, because they're really helpful.
You're a YouTuber? Oh
No,
my
Adobe
God.
also pays me. This is also
Oh.
Adobe
I
stuff.
would,
But,
if you
yeah.
just, I get overwhelmed by
Mhm.
like where to begin to look for
Right.
resources and
No, yeah.
understanding this, which is
Mhm.
why I came to this, because like having a person even just sit there
Yeah,
and be like,
right.
open the document, it's okay. Like
Mhm.
I'm terrified. Like
Understandable,
So
it's scary.
it just feels very like thank
Yeah.
you, and
Mhm.
like I would love if you have any good resources that you can
Yeah.
even point me towards that are not me googling in the web and finding something and being so overwhelmed.
If you want my Instagram
I
or
would
email or
really
something, you
love
can totally
that.
shoot me
That
questions.
would be so
I am
appreciated.
totally fair,
Like,
good with that.
I would really appreciate that. I like sound so like, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I
No, you're
genuinely
fine.
appreciate when people share their
Mhm.
skills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like,
No, if you want a basic Adobe portfolio rundown of how it works, I can totally make a tutorial for that. That is not an issue.
I think I took one of
You can
Andrew's
put your
classes.
you can put your both put your thing. Mhm.
He did have someone come in to like teach us on Adobe Portfolio, but I feel like in Andrew's class when I used it, again, I think it was just me maybe not having the right mindset. But it's like I was just trying to get it done.
Right.
And also, like I was also very still like I wasn't fully committed to my major.
Mhm.
Like it took a lot to be like, okay, I'm actually gonna do this. Not
Yeah.
that. But I feel like I'm so glad I came here today because I'm actually gonna like do it.
I appreciate that.
I feel like
As you
I've
should. You should do
always
it.
like I've looked at tutorials too, and then I'll be like, no.
Yeah, it gets a
No.
little daunting, but
And
this
then
was
I'm just like I stop.
yeah, this is pretty
But
intuitive, and if you've
it was pretty
used
cool.
any other website building things, it's pretty similar. I can show you the back half in a second, but this is just my general landing page. It has a link to the portfolio, it has LinkedIn email. It says who you want to be to, what position I'm trying to get for, and then my major. And the splash page is also elements from another project. So then it's just really basic, name, title. This is a campaign that I took inspiration from for my landing page. And then I have a preview of the work. I have little blurbs about why I made things the way that I did, what they're used for. And then this is the main graphic. This was for an Adobe workshop we did last spring. So these are intros because we had just made our Adobe Instagram.
It's so cute.
Yeah, and then I had a daily countdown before the thing, and then I had a follow-up after because our event was we took pictures of people in the park, and then we made video editing not video, we made videos of Photoshop and Lightroom editing basics and stuff like that. And then we posted those videos to YouTube in a playlist, and then we said hey, by the way, these are our we have tutorials up, link in bio, stuff like that. And then I put my tutorial up here, and then just another blurb, and then that's the poster I showed you. This is a non-alcoholic beer campaign from my advertising class. It was just
That's really cute.
thank you. Yeah, I had 2 partners, so I made the first one. Karsten made that one, Reese made that one, and then this one was Photoshop animation, which was fun. But we made like animated GIFs, so that's what we have. I made this one, and then my partner made these two. But yeah, very basic, like, and the function of it is more like, it's kind of like building blocks. Like there's a block here for the header, and then if you go in this line, you can add like image, text, photo grid, like all of these different things. And you can embed different stuff. The icons are really helpful too. Social icons, contact, like buttons to go to different sections. And then you can just do type. And then in the text, you can do, if you highlight it, like all the information comes up.
So this is where I can bring in fonts and color schemes if I have them saved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it has the same,
so like in theory, I could
fonts and stuff. Yeah, you can literally add fonts right here.
I should have a font that goes across kind of like all of my
Yeah,
pages.
it's good to have like a cohesive branding set. Like I had this page, the second page here. This is really helpful if you plan on using the same elements throughout like your resume, cover letter, portfolio page. Just like to have a little thing of like these are the fonts. Oh, thank you.
Okay, so this is like, can I just take a picture of that just as
Yeah,
an
sure.
example? Just is helpful to me. Thank you. Okay. And so then that could be a document that I bring in and have next to me while I'm working, and then okay.
It especially helps with the color palettes because, like Andrew said, you can import this and then just like eyedropper tool it, and then you can eyedrop like your colors onto things.
So do you make those circles, or that sounds so stupid? But
yeah,
like,
no, good question.
Do you make it, or do you just drag it? Is there
You can do either. Like if you get your color palette from a different source, you can screenshot it and then import the image in here and then eyedrop it that way. These ones I physically like took the circle, made a circle, and then picked the colors. But yeah, and then I can run down portfolio a little bit. So my favorite thing about this is the pages where you can like insert all of the work you've ever done and then turn it on and off. This is like this is like my favorite thing ever because going in and like redoing all of the stuff sounds so tedious. Yeah. Yeah, here's some stuff from Andrew's class. Yeah.
Okay, this is.
She's like mind blown.
Give me a second.
You got it.
I use they them pronouns.
Oh.
It's okay. I'm just letting you know. It's okay. I'm just letting you know. No, it's okay. I'm letting you know. You don't need to apologize. I'm just letting you know. Yes. Okay. So if I don't understand what integrations is. So is this only stuff you bring in from like this is where I bring in stock?
Okay. So this is like I haven't used that personally, but it's more like kind of placing things like embedding it into the system.
Okay. And then these are all things that are just like the main piece. Okay. And then what if I don't like these themes? Are there other themes, or these are just the ones you choose from?
I think I had the same issue. I might have just built mine from scratch, or you can.
Not what I'm gonna do, but cool.
You can edit everything in the template though. So you can start with a template you kind of like, and then tweak it.
Okay. So if I'm in a template right now, okay, something that I don't like is I want to be able to have multiple folders within folders, but it only lets me have like this within this, but I want to have this within another page. Is it possible to stack them that way? Do you know? You might not have explored.
Yeah, I don't use portfolio that much. Are you talking about, are they in pages? And then,
yeah, so like I want this all to be within another page that's like current work.
Okay.
I guess
you might be able to do it through a button maybe? Like, I think the best I can come up with is you make your page and then you have like a link to another page on it.
I wonder if this can all get moved within this. No, it cannot. Because this is that.
Is there settings, like there were little gears on it with those settings? Maybe there's a way to, like this part.
Because this is a collection, but I want this collection inside of another collection.
Yeah,
it might not be possible.
Yeah, because I think it's a pretty simple system.
Okay. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I don't use
No, that's okay. I was just trying to figure out.
You could totally look up like folders in Adobe Portfolio and see if somebody's ever gone over it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, oh, it's okay. You don't need to apologize. This is me letting you know, so that, but you don't need to feel that way. Okay, sweet. This is helpful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions? We're pulling up on 6 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, this is great.
Okay.
That was really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and even just helpful just to like